Chapter 1. Pregnant with Lies. "I'm telling you, Sarah," my sister-in-law Heather sobbed, curled up on the worn-out couch of her temporary rental apartment. "The doctor said I have a tumor in my ovary. It might affect my fertility. And the surgery? They said it could cost tens of thousands and still might not work." Huge tears rolled down her cheeks. Our parents sat beside her, devastated. But me? I stared at Heather, and suddenly, it all came flooding back. I was reborn. This moment, this exact scene, had already happened in my past life. I'd warned her back then too. I'd told her not to believe those miracle cosmetic scams that claim to cure cancer and guarantee pregnancy. But she didn't listen. In the end, she never got surgery. She spent all the money our parents scraped together on those collagen-laced creams and lotions. And when she failed to get pregnant, when her skin peeled and her health tanked, she turned on me. Said, I ruined her life. That if I hadn't intervened, her kid would be walking by now and she'd be a millionaire. My own brother Jake said I was jealous. That I was sabotaging Heather's business opportunity. They cornered me, gaslit me. And even the cops got misled. I died in confusion and rage. But now I'm back. And this time? I'm not going to save anyone. I crossed my arms and leaned against the doorframe, watching her perform the same sob story all over again. Heather always knew how to milk the moment. My parents, old-fashioned and always biased toward sons, doted on her just because she married their precious boy. My dad didn't even have a pension. And Mom's Social Security barely covered rent. Yet every cent they had went to Jake and Heather. I paid for everything. Rent, groceries, utilities. On my entry-level salary. 5 people crammed into my 400-square-foot one-bedroom, and not one of them lifted a finger to help. When I had my emergency appendectomy, they didn't even visit. Too busy planning Jake's birthday party. I died because I cared too much. But not this time. "Heather," I said sweetly, "don't worry. The world's falling apart, but you've got Mom and Dad. You'll be fine." Sure enough, that night, my parents sold their only property in Ohio, our childhood home. They wired every penny to Heather for her surgery. Only, she didn't get surgery. The next day, she brought home a massive pile of glossy brochures and beamed like she just cured cancer herself. "This," she whispered conspiratorially, "is the miracle we've been waiting for. NatureCore Platinum Collagen Tea Cosmetics. Not only do they help with fertility, they literally prevent cancer." I glanced at the pamphlet. A sweaty livestream host grinned from a ring-lit phone screen. "Folks," he bellowed, "this is the real deal. No needles, no pills, no chemo. Just rub this cream on and boom, no more cancer, no more infertility. You'll be reborn, beautiful and fertile." I wanted to laugh. I had exposed this scam in my last life. It was just gelatin and alcohol, thickened with illegal chemicals like carrageenan. Real collagen doesn't clump in alcohol. I tested it myself. Had lab reports to prove it. And yet, Heather doubled down. She quit her job at the supermarket and turned our apartment into a makeshift warehouse stacked floor to ceiling with boxes of miracle creams. The smell of fake citrus and formaldehyde made me nauseous every time I came home. She caught me at the door one night, eyes wild. "Sarah, look. This cream doesn't just help with fertility, it cures cancer, it kills tumor cells directly. I watched it on TikTok, it even melts kidney stones." The video showed someone pouring the cream into a cup of vodka. It curdled into a slime ball. "See?" she shouted. "That's the collagen binding to toxins." I just smiled. "Oh wow, Heather, you're glowing. You look so fair and radiant lately." She giggled, slapping more cream onto her cheeks. "I know, right? You should try it, Sarah. It's perfect for girls with darker skin tones." What she didn't know was, the whitening effect came from mercury, straight-up skin bleaching with illegal heavy metals. But this time, I didn't argue. I just watched. "Let's see how white your skin gets, Heather. Let's see if it glows. Or peels off your face." Chapter 2. Cancer-free and full of lies. Heather didn't just stop at whitening her skin and curing her tumor with collagen cream. She became obsessed. Her social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, were flooded with live streams of her glowing face, filtered beyond recognition. Her latest post? Hey my lovelies, no makeup today, just nature core. Look at this glow. You know what the doctor said? I'd never have kids. But now, I might be pregnant. Hashtag cancer-free, hashtag baby on board, hashtag miracle cream. I knew what was coming. Sarah, my brother Jake called me frantically at work. Something's wrong with Heather. She won't eat, won't drink. She's holed up in bed, refuses to go to the hospital. I don't know what to do. Typical. He only ever called when they needed something. I took a breath. Jake, I'm slammed. And honestly, if she really believes in that magic cream of hers, maybe she should just rub some more of it on. He exploded. Sarah, what the hell is wrong with you? If something happens to Heather, it's on you. Wow. The husband of the year. I almost felt touched. In the background, I heard Heather's weak voice croak. Sarah's right. I totally forgot to use the cream today. Could you grab me the serum, babe? Unbelievable. Jake sighed dramatically. You seriously want to put on makeup right now? You look like death? Then my mom chimed in. Jake, Sarah's making sense for once. Enough with the creams. We're going to the hospital. Heather burst into tears. Why won't anyone believe me? Just this once. Can't you trust me? I'm not dumb. I found this product. I did the research. It works. Of course, my mom had already wired her entire month's salary to Heather again. For the upgraded version, all Heather had done was swap the plastic bottle for a glass one, and jacked up the price. Spoiler alert, the only upgrade was more banned chemicals. By midweek, our tiny apartment looked like a bomb went off in a Sephora warehouse. Heather's new business partners, a group of equally delusional housewives, crammed into the living room, each live streaming on their phones, peddling miracle serums to strangers online. Heather, despite her rapidly deteriorating face, beamed into her phone with 10 layers of filters and crowed, "Family, this is my mother-in-law, y'all. Look how glowing she is after using our serum. Her kidney stones? Gone. Her migraines? Gone. All from this one cream." Then she waved around a blurry black and white ultrasound. My tumor? Vanished. I didn't take any medicine. No injections. Just our Nature Core premium line. I peered over at the ultrasound. It had the company's logo watermarked across the top, probably printed at the same scam clinic that created it. She may as well have photoshopped it in Canva. Jake looked like he was in love. Babe, I can't believe I ever doubted you. You're amazing. My mom? Beaming with pride. Our Heather is a boss lady now. Just wait till she makes it to corporate. She's going to get her own downline and car bonus. Right. A boss lady who hadn't eaten a real meal in days, who used rent money to buy glitter face masks, and who was, by all appearances, rotting from the inside. The only thing getting upgraded was her liver damage. Chapter 3. Rotten to the core. By the weekend, I got another call. Sarah, you need to come home now, Jake begged. Heather locked herself in the bathroom. She's been sobbing for hours, says she wants to die. I debated ignoring it. But curiosity got the better of me. When I stepped into the apartment, the chemical stench nearly knocked me out. The place looked like a dollar store apothecary exploded. Heather was in the bathroom, crying into her own reflection. I'm useless, she wailed. I can't even give this family a baby. I should just die. The moment I saw her, I knew. Her whole face was swollen. Angry red blotches streaked her cheeks, and parts of her skin were literally peeling away. It wasn't just an allergic reaction, it was full-on chemical burns. I forced down my nausea. Oh no, Heather, this is totally normal. That just means it's working. The product is purging the toxins. Once your skin gets used to it, you'll be even more beautiful. She sniffled. You think so? Absolutely, I said with a warm smile. It means your cells are waking up. Healing from the inside out. She actually nodded, wiping her tears with an exfoliating pad, God help her, and declared, right, our trainer said the same thing. Some reactions mean it's taking effect. Let her rot. That face was just the beginning. She began posting close-ups of her red peeling skin online, calling it Stage 1 recovery. Her followers ate it up. Wow, thanks for being honest about side effects. Means it's powerful. You're glowing, queen. Some even begged to buy the exact same batch, thinking hers was extra strong. Meanwhile, I kept my mouth shut. I had a master's degree in cosmetic chemistry. I worked R&D for a global beauty brand. I used to believe in the power of beauty, to make people feel confident, radiant, empowered. Now I wasn't so sure. Because if people could ignore mercury poisoning, steroid cream addiction, and literal chemical burns, just for the dream of being pretty, maybe they deserved what was coming. But that wasn't the worst of it. One evening after work, I walked in to find the apartment full of colleagues. Heather had turned the living room into a full-on live stream studio. Light rings, microphones, QR code signs. And in the middle of it all, Heather, looking like a radioactive Barbie doll. She was still burned, still swollen, but layered in concealer and filters so thick she could have sold funeral cosmetics. "Family!" she chirped into the camera. "You know who this is? My father-in-law and mother-in-law. They're using our serum too. Look at their complexions, red as roses. Dad used to cough from asthma all the time, but not anymore. And Mom? Her kidney stones dissolved just like that." My parents sat frozen beside her, like two elderly hostages. "And me?" Heather continued, lifting her phone dramatically. "You all know my story. I had an ovarian tumor, doctors gave up. But now, look at this scan, totally clean." She waved another fraudulent report at the camera. I caught a glimpse of the letterhead. It was from a fake clinic owned by the same company. I almost applauded the audacity. Heather was now the poster child for naturecore. My brother doted on her like she'd invented penicillin, and my mom practically worshipped her. Meanwhile, I was still the one paying for the water bill. And the kicker? Heather's face looked like a glazed ham under a heat lamp. But she still had followers asking for her routine. I smiled sweetly at her during dinner. "You're glowing more than ever, Heather. Radiant. Truly. Thanks," she chirped, then leaned in conspiratorially. "You know, I think I might be pregnant again. I've been nauseous all day." I raised an eyebrow. "Or maybe it's just the toxins working their way out." She beamed. "Exactly, detox through nausea. This is why I'm building my downline, Sarah. This is our time. You and me, let's get rich together." I forced a smile and nodded. Let her dream. Let her rise. Because the higher she climbed, the harder she'd fall. Chapter 4. The Virgin Queen of MLM. By now, Heather was a full-blown cult leader in a gold-rimmed filter. She stood every weekend at the front gate of our suburban apartment complex like a self-crowned queen, flanked by QR code signs and bargain bin gift bags. Jake and my parents flitted around her like loyal footmen, helping elderly neighbors scan for a free sample. I watched from across the street, sipping iced coffee. I had to admit, she looked the part. Gold-framed glasses, perfectly teased bangs, bodycon maternity dress, though she didn't look even slightly pregnant. Behind the glam though? Her skin was sallow, her lips were cracked, and her eye bags could hold groceries. But with enough contour and filters, she passed for the virgin queen of multi-level marketing. Even the dogs in the neighborhood knew she was peddling magic cream now. "Heather," Jake said nervously one morning, "maybe we should go to the hospital. You've been vomiting every day, and now your hands are shaking." Heather brushed him off. "I'm not sick. I'm detoxing. Our product's packed with nutrients. I'm just a little too nourished right now. That's why my gums are bleeding. It's a sign of cellular turnover." I nearly choked on my coffee. It was mercury poisoning, not detox. But I said nothing. She was even more aggressive in her live streams now, shouting at anyone who dared question the product. When an old retired doctor in the park asked her what collagen titanium actually meant, she threatened to sue him for defamation. Later that night she ranted to her followers. "Doctors today? They're wolves in lab coats. They don't want you healed. They want your insurance money. We heal without needles, without pills, and that scares them." Applause emojis flooded in. Fire emojis. Dollar signs. Her delusions weren't just growing, they were spreading. People on Facebook started tagging her as that miracle mom, citing her pregnancy miracle as proof that the product worked. Mothers groups, wellness forums, even small-town church circles began DMing her for the secret. She told them all, 2 jars of our serum and 1 bar of collagen soap a day. Your womb will be ready for miracles. She hadn't seen a real doctor in nearly 9 months. Her face though? It was now so bloated with fluid that she had to film from a top angle to hide the swelling. Her feet puffed like rising bread dough after standing 10 minutes. Still, she refused to acknowledge anything was wrong. One day, over dinner, she winced and rubbed her side. "My ribs hurt lately," she said. "Probably just the baby kicking." I glanced at the spot she was rubbing. "That's not your ribs. That's your kidney." "Oh!" she chirped. "You think it's twins? Sometimes it feels like 2 of them talking to me at once." I smiled. "Definitely. They're probably just fighting over who gets to call you mom first." She laughed so hard her lips split open. Jake kissed her forehead, beaming like an idiot. "I can't wait to meet them." I studied her face. Her jaw was puffy, her pupils were dilated, and she reeked of chemical toner. She was falling apart. But the deeper she sank, the higher her followers lifted her. I knew what was coming. She wasn't carrying a child. She was growing a time bomb. Chapter 5. Miracle Baby. Monster Tumor. Heather's delusion had a new opening line. "Family." She'd shout at the start of every live stream, hand on her bloated, discolored belly. "I'm living proof our product works. Doctor said I couldn't have kids, but look at me now. I'm pregnant, glowing, and cancer-free." Her followers exploded with emojis. But in real life? Her belly hadn't grown an inch in months. The only thing expanding was her ego, and her swelling face. Still, she went full force into branding her miracle pregnancy. She handed out flyers at grocery stores, pitched creams to Uber drivers, even held court at family barbecues. My mom tagged along, nodding like a backup singer. "Our product's certified by the United Nations," Heather bragged. "Right. Certified by a fake certificate she printed off Etsy." Every time someone raised a skeptical eyebrow, she played victim. "Why don't you believe in me?" she'd say, tears shimmering under highlighter. "I may not have a PhD, but I have vision. Even my mom drank the Kool-Aid." "She's glowing," she told neighbors. "Just look at her. Pregnancy makes you radiant." But I knew that glow. It was renal failure. She began complaining about pain in her left side. "My ribs are sore," she said, rubbing her waist. "That's your kidney," I said again. "You should get that checked. Or maybe," she whispered, "it's twins." She actually believed it. At this point, I didn't know whether to pity her or slap her. That week, she pulled me aside with a smirk. "Sarah, this is our newest product. It lifts the boobs and makes men fall in love with you. Here, feel mine." Before I could react, she yanked down her top and shoved her chemically bloated cleavage at me. "Remember how flat I was? Not anymore. It's all collagen and hormone-rich peptides now." I bit my tongue and nodded. "Heather, you're stunning. Honestly, way better than those Instagram influencers." She beamed. "You should join my team," she said. "We're family. I don't want to get rich alone." I knew what she really meant. She wanted to use me. My job at a respected cosmetics company gave her scam a whiff of legitimacy. If I joined, even just publicly endorsed her, it would open doors. But I just smiled and said, "Oh Heather, your product's way too premium for basic people like us. Only the elite deserve it." She frowned for a second, then recovered. "You'll see. One day your company will be begging to collaborate with me." I gave a theatrical nod. "Can't wait." Downstairs, I overheard some neighbors gossiping. "She says she's pregnant, but she doesn't even look it. My daughter-in-law gave birth 2 months ago and looked twice as big by month 4. The community was catching on. Back upstairs I spotted something on Heather's vanity. Painkillers. Strong ones. Prescribed to cancer patients. She popped 3 like candy. I quietly requested a transfer to our out-of-state branch. "Weekends only," I said. I needed distance. This story was heading toward a train wreck, and I wanted front row seats, but not from inside the wreckage. Chapter 6. The Scam Baby Shower. 4 months into her pregnancy, Heather hadn't gained a pound outside her face. No belly, no nausea, no fatigue, aside from the kind that came from overdosing on collagen and lies. Yet somehow, she managed to host a lavish pre-baby glow party in our apartment, complete with pink and blue balloons, a sheet cake that read "Miracles Happen," and handouts about her new CEO elite rep title. "Don't call it a baby shower," she whispered, winking at me. "This is an opportunity celebration. We're not just birthing a child, we're birthing generational wealth." Translation: bring cash and sign up for the pyramid. Every guest left with a goodie bag full of expired creams and pamphlets. I stayed long enough to fake a smile, eat a stale cookie, and hear Jake proudly say, "We're thinking of naming him Hunter. Or maybe something biblical, like Ezekiel." I stared at Heather's still flat stomach and murmured, "You sure he's not just shy?" Everyone laughed. Heather beamed. That night, Jake cornered me. "Sarah, could you help us out with something?" I already knew. "We want to get a car," he said. "To promote the business, you know. Show people success is real." I gave him a pained look. "Jake, you know my job's been slashing bonuses, the economy's rough, I'm just getting by." He looked crushed. I leaned in, whispering, "But have you looked into microloans? I hear you can get approved same day." His eyes lit up. "That's genius. Why didn't I think of that?" They drove a brand new BMW home the next day. I wasn't surprised when they decided to visit family in their hometown right after. I knew what that really meant. They were going back to recruit more people, to turn cousins, aunts, and anyone with a pulse into sales reps. That's what Heather's empire needed. Fresh meat. They called it a holiday trip. I called it what it was: MLM hunting season. Before they left, I glanced at Heather's stomach one last time. Still flat as ever. Her feet were puffed up like microwaved marshmallows, but her belly? Zero growth. I caught a glimpse of her packing painkillers, and a fresh batch of fake ultrasounds. When they got in the car, Jake waved at neighbors and honked like a politician. Heather posted a selfie in the passenger seat. "On the road to spread the miracle, remember. Belief creates reality. Let's grow together." The caption was paired with a group photo of smiling relatives holding product jars. I wondered if any of them knew they were being set up to fail. Chapter 7. The tumor baby is born. A few weeks into their roadshow, the miracle unraveled. Jake was out of town on a training retreat, which probably meant more debt-fueled selfies with the BMW in front of random diners. That's when I got the call from my mom, panicked and breathless. "Sarah, your sister-in-law collapsed. She fainted at the farmer's market." "She what?" "She's being rushed to the hospital. You need to help." "Jake's not picking up." I sipped my coffee. "That's really unfortunate, Mom. But I'm in Seattle right now. Business trip." My mom cursed under her breath. Eventually, a neighbor helped get Heather to the hospital. And that's where the fantasy shattered. The doctors ran an emergency scan, and called in my mother. "Ma'am," one of them said gravely, "this patient is not pregnant. She has a massive abdominal tumor, over 12 inches wide." "Did no one know?" My mom turned white as a sheet. "What do you mean she's not pregnant?" "The baby. She was supposed to have the baby today." "There is no baby," the doctor replied. "There's a 30-centimeter tumor pressing on her organs. She also has severe heavy metal toxicity. Her kidneys are failing. She needs surgery immediately." My mom staggered out of the room and said the most on-brand thing imaginable: "We're leaving. This hospital's clearly corrupt. They just want to cut her open and charge us." The doctor stared at her like she was feral. "If you walk out that door, this woman could die in hours." And still, my mom hesitated. Not because she didn't care about Heather, but because she couldn't imagine facing our extended family and admitting it was all fake. That Heather wasn't pregnant. That the miracle child was just a mass of poisoned tissue and industrial glue. She chose pride over truth. But before she could drag Heather out, Heather's real mother showed up and slapped her across the face. "You selfish cow," she screamed. "You want her dead so your son can remarry and start over? If my daughter dies because of your pride, I'll bury you myself." They rushed Heather into emergency surgery. It lasted hours. When the doctor came out, he held up a specimen container. "This," he said, is what she was carrying. A tumor the size of a watermelon. And worse, her labs showed she'd been living with chronic mercury poisoning for at least a year. Her kidneys were shot. She'd need a transplant or dialysis for the rest of her life, if she survived. When I got the call, I put on my best shocked face. "Oh no," I said into the phone. "That's awful. What about all the people she sold the cream to? They're probably waiting for their miracle baby too." Chapter 8. Death of a Saleswoman. Heather never woke up. She stayed in a coma for weeks, her bloated body hooked up to tubes and machines. Her once glowing skin had turned a waxy yellow, and her limbs had to be restrained because of the spasms from metal toxicity. Her livestream followers? Silent. Her upline? Gone. But the people she scammed? Oh, they were very much awake. The moment the news got out, thanks to a nosy influencer in the hospital ward who posted Heather's chart online, everything exploded. Wait, isn't this that chick who sold me $300 of fertility toner? Didn't she say she was pregnant with twins? Y'all, she's in a coma. From the creams she sold us. Her comment sections turned into war zones. Angry buyers, MLM victims and former friends all converged like vultures. Then came the real-world consequences. A crowd of furious customers, many of them local retirees who had drained their pensions on miracle regimens, showed up outside the hospital with signs. "Liar! Where's our money? You killed my wife's hope." Some brought rotten eggs. Others brought lawsuits. They blocked the hospital entrance, demanding refunds, screaming at her parents, spitting on Jake when he finally arrived. One woman even screamed, "You made my mother drink that toner like it was holy water. She has blisters on her tongue." Jake tried to calm the crowd. "We didn't know. It wasn't our fault." No one bought it. Someone hurled a half-rotten cabbage at Heather's gurney as she was being wheeled to another wing. The video went viral within hours. The same day, I called the Consumer Protection Agency. "Hi, I'd like to report a multi-level scam involving toxic beauty products and medical fraud." I wasn't going to let the black market supplier off the hook either. Heather died later that week. Not from the tumor but from sepsis. Her organs had rotted from the inside. Her final moments weren't peaceful. They were full of pain, confusion, and the sting of betrayal. Outside the hospital, protesters kept arriving. Jake and my parents were forced to sneak out the back. Their home? Vandalized. Their mattresses? Thrown into the street. Their names? All over local news. Jake eventually tried to cook the books at Heather's old company to make the money back. He got arrested for fraud. My parents? Bankrupt. Homeless. My mother had to beg to work as a janitor again. But she couldn't even hold that job for long. Too many people knew her as the woman who pushed poison to babies. Eventually, someone threw feces at their door. They went into hiding. Jake died inside prison after a staged accident. My parents passed shortly after hearing the news. And me? I watched it all from my sunny studio apartment in Seattle, sipping wine. I had long since blocked every relative. I didn't attend the funeral. I didn't answer a single call. And when it rained the night I saw Heather's obituary, I laughed. Hard. Because sometimes, justice doesn't come through courts. Sometimes it comes through tumors, filters, and fools desperate to glow. After all, blood may be thick, but bleach is thicker. The end.